All right, Brad, you just got through with first lesson with Andy, and you had a chance to review some video of a couple of his games and showcase he did, getting different angles of him pitching. And in reviewing that video before this lesson, what did you see good, bad, and ugly?
Well, he has a lot of good things going for him. He's a big boy. That's a great thing to start. He's got a big, strong arm, and you know he knows how to finish, which is a big, big step. I teach kids how to follow through a little bit different than the average guy. I teach them to get way, way out there with their arm and pull their body through. And judging by the video, he already has that. One thing the biggest concern for mine was him getting ahead of his arm. A lot of times his foot is landing, his body explodes towards home plate, and his arm's dragging way down below. Matter of fact, most of his pitches. Now he's a good enough athlete and he's strong enough that he corrects it a lot mid-game, and it's just something he does. But that kind of results in about half of his pitches to be on a downhill plane, and about half of them to be flatter or high. And our biggest goal today was to try to learn. It's kind of something new to him. I don't want to completely change anything, but is in power position pitching, which is what all the pros are doing. You can Google it and look it up, and you'll find it right there. The two keys is to have your foot, or to where your arm is when your foot hits the ground, and where your weight is when your foot hits the ground. If your arm is up in this fashion right here, elbow as high as your shoulder, ball facing towards center field, and when your foot hits the ground, your body explodes and your arm goes with it. If your arm's down here when that happens, that's why he's experiencing some soreness in his shoulder. He's behind, his ball's going to be up more. It's going to be harder to control the ball where it goes. So that was our first big thing, and mechanically speaking, there's a million ways to do it, as long as when your foot hits the ground, your arm is here, and then it's a bonus if your weight is on your back leg and over the rubber still. And that's one little minor thing we made today, and I think as we did it, he kind of felt pretty good about it. We were just throwing really lightly, and the ball was really jumping out of his hand, and he looked a lot more free. A lot of people think when they see a pitcher in this position it's wrong, and it's really not. A lot of guys, some more power pitchers in baseball, go straight there. Most of us aren't that guy. So we need to have a nice arm path here when our arm hits the ground. As we go forward, it does come to here, and then those pictures you see with the arm laid out. But it's definitely, for him doing that isn't a bad thing. It's just throughout the years, he's just so far ahead of himself. He's here, his body goes, and he has to do it to make up for it. And that leads to a flatter pitch. His loss of velocity, his sore shoulder, and his high pitches or flat pitches. If we can get his arm up when his foot hits the ground, he's going to be a lot more free. He'll be able to throw the ball where he wants. His ball is going to jump out of his hand. He's going to have more movement. He's going to throw it downhill. All good things. All
right, now you mentioned power. Was it power?
Power position.
Power position. Right. Now, which one of the pitching gurus do you know came up with that term? Or
I don't know whose term it is. I don't even know if it's in a book. I started learning it in college, and when I got to pro ball, everybody was doing it. Back in the day, you kind of had your drop and your drives, guys who went way down and pushed out and jumped towards home plate. Then you kind of had these guys who really were tall and falling towards home plate. Those all work as long as when your foot hits the ground, your arm is up. This power position is the same position a hitter would use after he takes his stride. His weight's on his back leg, he's ready to go, he's ready to swing, and his body's ready to explode. But as far as it started in college with my college coaches at Western, and it went right on to the coaches for the Blue Jays. I played under some really great coaches, and they all, they were all talking about the power position, where your arm should be when your foot hits the ground, and having your weight back.
All right. Now, Andy, when you have any kind of lesson, if you can take one good thing away from it, one takeaway, it's been successful. What are you taking away from this lesson?
Really just like all the mechanical things that happen, like how I need to stay back with a power stance or power position, and how I need to get my arm higher, my arm is fine. There's no soreness like there used to be, so just feels better.
So when you were throwing out here today, you didn't feel any stress on the arm?
Yeah, no pain.
Okay, coming out of the power position.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you learned?
A cutter. Might need to work on a little bit, but it worked pretty good. Felt pretty good.
All right. You ready for another lesson?
Yeah.